Hey, what's up YouTube? If you saw my last 720 video when I unboxed and reviewed my 2 new pairs of 720s, you know how excited I was when I got them. I like a lot of hype sneakers too, but the truth is, I'm a regular run-of-the-mill sneakerhead. Most, if not all of the hype stuff I show on this channel is either for a quick flip or they belong to one of my kids. That said, this was by far my most anticipated release for 2019, and at first they did not disappoint, but later they disappointed a lot. So let's talk about it.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
When I first saw these, they had that futuristic style I liked, tons of comfort, practically crease-proof, no leather, and Nike's largest air unit ever. From my perspective, what's not to like? I'll put a link below to my first review of these. Ironically, in that video, I addressed concerns from people that the air unit is too exposed and runs the risk of popping. I dismissed those concerns and said as long as they're not walking on nails or broken glass, you shouldn't worry. Even the thumbnail for that original video, I added the words, "Will it pop?" In hindsight, I kind of feel like I was asking for this. After the video dropped, the black and orange pair became my everyday kicks, and I wore them for about 2 months before I put them on the shelf. Throughout that time, they were great. Then one day, after sitting on the shelf for about a month, I put them on and realized the left air unit was completely deflated. It didn't make sense, and I assumed it had to be a defect. They were fine the last time I wore them, and I couldn't find any damage. So I reached out to Nike for a replacement pair, but since they were purchased over 3 months prior, they wouldn't help me. So I turned to YouTube. I looked online for ways to repair it myself, but didn't find much. One guy did it by pumping soda into the air unit and then melting it closed. His theory was the carbonation of the soda will refill the air unit. Okay, even if that does work, now I have to walk around with soda sloshing around in my midsole? No thanks, Sodafoot. Another guy pumped them full of tile grout, and another guy used Fix-A-Flat, but I don't think that worked either. I tried just wearing them as is, but that wasn't going to work. So here I am with a brand new pair of kicks that I really love but can't wear. It was pretty frustrating, so I thought I can't add air back into this one, but I can take air out of this one. So that's my plan. But before I simply just poke it with a needle, I want to see just how much abuse this air unit can actually handle. So let's go see if we could pop this thing. But before I do, I ask, do not try this at home as it could lead to some serious injuries. We'll start off light with some sharp rocks. Doesn't appear to be any problems here. The air unit and the thin rubber outsole handle it well. They seem to be contouring to the terrain. So far, so good. And I think it would be really hard to pop them this way, unless you're very unlucky. So now let's kick it up a notch. How about this sharp corner on my wall? It has a pretty jagged edge. And as you can see, I'm stomping down directly onto the air unit. But it just keeps bouncing back. I don't think this will be enough to pop it, and that's good to know. What about a pile of sharp screws? Let's give it a try. No real worry here. The rubber rolls right over them with no problem. Even when I jump up and down, I don't see any real damage being caused. Unless the screws are standing straight up, I don't think they will cause any damage. And I'm not trying to catch a screw in the foot, so we're going to pass on taking this test any further. Okay, now let's get stupid. What about thick shards of broken glass? I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit nervous about this one, and I think it will do some damage. I saw a kid stomp on a glass bottle in middle school and catch a big piece of glass right into his foot. I really hope that doesn't happen to me here, but I'm willing to take that chance for you. As you can see, I'm not holding back. I'm jumping up and down, adding a lot of pressure, and trying to align the pointy shard right over the air unit. I actually did this for a while, and a few shards did get stuck in the outsole, but there was no leak or any loss of air pressure. That's pretty amazing, because I thought for sure these would pop, and this would be the end of the video, but as you can see, they're still going strong. Take that, sharp glass. Okay. So we've given a lot of abuse to the outsole so far, but what about the midsole, the most exposed part of the air unit and most likely its weakest point? Maybe hitting them really hard with a hammer will rupture the material, so let's give that a try. On a side note, my neighbors probably think I'm a lunatic standing in my driveway hammering a sneaker. But again, I do this for you. After hitting them pretty hard several times, there appears to be no real damage. Just a bunch of rust marks from the hammer that can easily be wiped away. The hammer test was a fail. Okay, now we will try to achieve the impossible. Every Air Max head's worst nightmare. Thumbtacks. I don't know how they will possibly survive this, and I believe the thumbtacks will no doubt finish off this air unit. So let's see what happens. Without holding back, I walked over them several times and I jumped up and down on them. Almost immediately, I could tell a lot of the thumbtacks sunk into the rubber outsole, but my air pressure was still fine. I guess it's like having a nail in your car's tire. Sometimes if you leave the nail in, you won't lose any air pressure. So let's start pulling them out and see what happens. The first one I pulled out, I immediately heard the sound of air escaping. Then I pulled out the second tack that hit the air unit and heard a similar sound. So I've learned that if I ever get a thumbtack stuck in my air unit, leave it where it is and I'll be fine. Also, I'm kind of amazed that after all that thumbtack abuse, only 2 of them actually made it into the air unit. So there you have it. Now I have 2 equally popped 720s. This video for me was bittersweet. Destroying a fresh pair goes against every fiber of my being, and I lost a pair of kicks I really liked. but it was interesting and kind of fun to see how far I could push them. Now that they're both popped, things kind of balanced out, and they are technically wearable. There's just a lot less support, and your heel kind of leans back into the side when you walk. This would not work for a full day, but just to use them to do things around the house, it's completely doable. Now, I will sadly have to retire these from my rotation and make them my yard work or house painting sneakers. It is what it is.
Pimps go through this kind of shit from time to time.
My verdict after this experience, the 720 is still a cool, fun, and comfortable sneaker, and although I'm disappointed with my unexplained deflation, I understand that when pushing the envelope with sneaker tech, sometimes someone might have to take an L. So I'll take that L for anyone who has ever dreamed about outlandishly oversized air units in their kicks, and yes, I would still buy another pair of 720s. I'll put a link to where you can get these in the description below. That's my video. I'll show a few more shots of my busted air unit, but before I do, I ask that you please like, please subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Also, you could always follow me on Instagram at E21Life for other sneaker stuff and randomness. Let me know in the comments if you've had any similar issues with your air units, or if you know of an effective way to fix them. I'd be very interested to learn. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, everybody. Peace.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.